Good morning from AldermanFarms. Hey, we're live again. Surprise, surprise. Actually, it was Tommy's idea to go live. I didn't even think about it. I'm just kind of going through my day, doing some things I want to do. Oh, I don't have anywhere to sit this. It's not much. Just a minute. You can follow me over here.
Can you guess what we're doing? What Patty's doing?
I'm finally drying my sourdough starter. And
dehydrating is the word you were looking for.
What did I say?
Drying. You were like you couldn't think of the word.
Oh, dehydrating my sourdough starter.
Or trying to anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying. This is my first time to try it. And so this is my first sheet I'm putting into my dehydrator. And so it says it's okay to put parchment paper in there, so
we're gonna find out. We have a fire extinguisher.
We do. We have a few. But anyway, this is how I'm doing it. I think I'm gonna get my scissors though, because when I tore my paper, I tore it. It was too big. So you notice that other one I had it folded down. So I'm just gonna.
This starter is so active.
Show them this one. I've been doing 2 jars, and you can see all my bubbles and everything. That's one thing you want, a very active starter to do this. And so I would say this one is pretty active.
So who knows if you're coming to if this works and you're coming to the Homesteaders of America conference in Warrenton. Oh shit! So this may not be the ones they get. But
well, no, because I want to get close to the time. Which I just read that. I mean, they've had it last for decades. So as long as it is kept dry. But I actually may sell some of these online. So, but my goal is what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do these sheets and dry them and everything, and then I'm going to make bread. I'm going to do a video series. What you laughing about?
No, go ahead.
I'm going to do a video series and I may do it live, I don't know. But I'll do a video series about me rehydrating the sourdough starter and making bread with it. So, because I have to test it, I have to make sure it's going to work. So, I wouldn't want to sell something not being for sure that it's going to work. So, I'm going to, but you could be the first one.
I was laughing because Cherish said, asking if you were bringing it to the conference because she needs this in her life. That's the hope. Yeah. But like Patty was saying,
her name's not Hope, it's Cherish.
I know, but I just thought that was funny.
I know. I'm just teasing because half the time I call her Hope.
Yeah.
But one good thing, she don't get offended, so.
That's the plan, but I jumped the gun because Patty was saying, this batch may not be what she brings, but the plan is to get Hope is her middle name, so I'm not wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
she don't get offended.
Yeah. So the plan is this is the experimental stage, first time to try it, and she needs to get it perfected, and so the plan is to be bringing some to the conference. Yes. Whether or not it's actually this go-round or some of this batch, we doubt it. Because like I said, she wants it to be more recently dehydrated, even though what she's read said it'll keep for like 10 years.
And I need to do some research. Right now I'll be using the snack bags that I use for my dip mixes. And I get them at Walmart. They're a Ziploc brand, I think. But I really want something that's going to be, that'll last better. That's a little bit thicker gauge bag. Of course, I don't need to use, the smallest freezer bag that I've seen is like a quart size. I don't need a quart size freezer bag, but I need a heavier gauge bag to put it in because those little snack bags are very thin. So, I'm gonna skip. And see, I don't know.
So you're skipping a spot?
Well, I don't know. If my papers won't touch, I don't have to, because I could get a lot in. Yeah, that goes in good right there, like that. And so.
This is a what, 9 tray?
Yeah, I think so. I love my dehydrator.
That's an Excalibur dehydrator. They make the best as far as we know. I mean, I'm sure that there may be some professional grade ones, but as far as consumer grade, that thing rocks.
Yes, I'm very pleased with it. I had the little stand dehydrators with the round trays, and you had to, you know, rotate the trays and all like that. And I mean, occasionally I have given my what do you call these things? My trays a half a turn before, but typically I don't have to do anything. It's very even because it's forced air. It's got a fan in the back of it, so. But anyway, you see I'm kind of rolling this paper up the opposite way that it wants to roll to kind of make it lay flat. So, and what I'm doing is I'm drying 1/4 of a cup at a time, and I'm trying to keep it separate because that's the way I'll sell it, is 1/4 a cup at a time. And like I said, I'm going to go through, and you're supposed to spread it thin, and I'm going to do a thing where I rehydrate it and make bread with it, just to show the process and everything. It seems pretty simple. So
Suburban, the Excalibur's pretty quiet, wouldn't you say, Patty?
yeah, I mean, I know I can hear it running, but it's nothing, it doesn't get on my nerves or anything, you know.
Which means it's quiet, because anything gets on Patty's nerves real quick with noise.
It's funny when the electricity goes out, I like it because, like right now, I can hear the freezer running or the refrigerator, and it's so nice when you can. It's nothing, which Tommy doesn't understand that, but
no. Linda Ennis wants to know if you've used your Instant Pot lately. Any good recipes to share?
What did I make in my Instant Pot?
Spaghetti.
Oh yeah, I made spaghetti in it. And
oh, tell them about your accidental spaghetti recipe. It was, to me, it was the best spaghetti. Yeah. I've told her every time she makes it, I want her to make it like this now.
Yeah. Wait, let me go stick this tray in, and I'll tell them. I was making spaghetti Sunday for lunch. Carly Ann was coming home. And spaghetti's one of her favorites. It's one of Tommy's favorites too. And so I was getting it going and everything, and you know, back and forth at Mama's house. I was cooking at Mama's, so I had to carry stuff over there, carry stuff over there.
Bye, Amanda.
Well, my canned tomato, I haven't canned my tomatoes from this year. I've got them in the freezer, and so I have to can them yet. And I was ready for the tomatoes, so I didn't want to take frozen tomatoes out of the freezer and have to try and thaw them and chop them and all that. Because I don't like big tomato chunks in my spaghetti. I like it all to be, you know, not to be chunky. So anyway, I came over here to our house looking for canned tomatoes. Couldn't find any. Well, I have plenty salsa, and so I put a jar of salsa in there. I didn't tell anybody, because I didn't know how that was going to taste. And I do put sugar in my spaghetti too. And so I let Tommy start eating it and everything, and he said it was good. And I said, well, I used salsa instead of tomatoes because I was out. And he's like, I want you to make it like this from now on. I would love it. So it had, you know, my salsa has a little bit of vinegar in it. And so it has a little bit of a tang. Of course, it's got bell pepper and onion, the same thing I'd put in my spaghetti. And so it went together good. And, you know, there's a little bit of chili powder in the salsa too, but that didn't seem to bother anybody. And I was thinking, well, you know, I wonder if I could just make my chili with salsa, you know, because I just add more chili powder and stuff like that. So anyway.
It was good. I prefer a tangy or more acidic spaghetti flavor as opposed to a sweetness.
And see, his mama always made a tangier spaghetti. My mama made a sweeter spaghetti, so.
It was delicious. I ate it 2 or 3 days in a row.
Yep, he liked it. So.
Those of you joining late, we are dehydrating sourdough starter, giving it our first go using our Excalibur. There'll be, if you go down, if you're interested in looking at either the Instant Pot or the Excalibur, there should be a link in the description of this video that says In Patty's Kitchen. Takes you to an Amazon list with stuff that Patty uses in her kitchen, and everything in there is either the closest thing we can find or the actual model of something that Patty uses in her kitchen.
Yeah.
Hey, Mountain Mama. Now, Mama says she was late because she had to get her dehydrator going. What are you dehydrating today, Mountain Mama? Patty's putting parchment paper because she kind of...
Yeah, he said, how are you going to dehydrate that? I said, oh, do you think it would slip through the holes? I was being smart aleck.
Yeah, she was being a smarty pants.
I'm not usually that way.
Huh.
I'm not.
No, she's not.
You are.
Herbs and spices. That's what Mountain Mama's got in herbs.
You know what I thought about? I have not picked my okra in 2 weeks. I'm going to have to throw away half of it. I've got to get out there and do it. But I thought about it. Oh, Tommy, and I hadn't told you about this either. But, well, I told you about this. I've got a huge bell pepper out there that I'd seen. My bell pepper plants, I did a live thing one time with my bell pepper plants. That some of them did live. I need to go out there and search. But one thing that has made it, I'm getting this all over me. But that I don't know if you knew, Tommy. Remember we planted some ginger and turmeric?
Yeah.
I saw one of those plants coming up in amongst all the weeds. So we need to go out there and I could spread it with this, but I can't get all this out. So when I take the spoon out and put it up here, I'm getting more on there. So, but I gotta go clean. I think got it all over my hands and everything. Well,
Suburban wants to know. Says she never gets enough. Suburban, I might have just. No, I didn't. She said I never get enough okra in one picking. How do I save it until I get enough to fry?
What you can do is go ahead. You can not cut it up.
Mountain Mama, you didn't miss much.
You can not cut it up and put it in the fridge in an airtight container, or you could go ahead, depending on if you're going to batter it or not. If you're going to batter it, you could go ahead and get it cut up and everything, and you know, probably 2 pickings would be enough to fry, I would imagine. But
Mountain Mama says freeze it.
yeah, and that's one thing I've been wanting to do some videos about the way I put my okra up, some of my okra this year. Which y'all know my life has been kind of crazy, so it does take a little longer when you're videoing by yourself anyway. This is not taking longer because Tommy's holding that for me. But anyway, I have battered some okra and froze it to be fried, like for batter fried okra. I've also just cut up some okra just to have it for sauteed. You know, I call it smothering, but anyway, so you could do that and just pull it out the freezer, and you can freeze it like all in like a gallon bag. And all right, y'all, I have clean hands. I always wash my hands.
Well, they weren't seeing your hands anyway. She was she was getting it out of there with her fingers.
I didn't lick them. That would be gross. But anyway, so that's an option of you know, yeah, like they said, just go ahead and batter it and freeze it. So
let's see here. Dawn Old Fashioned Life says she bought some Teflon sheets that are made to fit the Excalibur sheets.
Yes, and I will be doing that if I see that this is a go. I will be doing that. So.
Yeah, because this takes a whole lot longer.
Yeah.
You know,
now I'm going to tell y'all something too. What I do with my parchment paper.
After you drop the scissors?
Yeah, after I drop my scissors on the floor. One thing that I do when I make cookies is I reuse my parchment paper once. So I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I'll kind of like turn it over, which I hadn't made cookies in a long time. But I'll turn it over and use the other side. So I was curious to know if I'm going to be able to do the same thing with this parchment paper.
Huh, Dawn used them to dehydrate milk.
Yes, isn't that? Now, is it raw milk, Dawn, or is it, oh, I would love to do that. Is it raw milk, or is it like just store-bought milk? Either way, I'd like to do it.
God, think about dehydrating Jersey milk with all that cream in it.
Yeah, I don't know how that'll work. I'm curious to see what she says. get stuck all over that. So, but yeah, this is
and she's smearing it out like this just because it seems like the right thing to do.
No, you're supposed to. You're supposed to make it as thin as possible, and the drying time takes a lot less. Now I'm using, you don't even have to do this in the dehydrator. Now here it would take me a long time because we're so humid, but like if you're in a drier climate, you can actually leave this just sit out. You can put it in your oven, not with the oven on, just like with the light on. I've been reading about it. So I'm expecting, I don't know how long it's going to take in the dehydrator, but I'm expecting it not to take very long.
Dawn said either fresh or whole. I mean fresh or store-bought. And
wow.
Suburban said dehydrate goat's milk for soap.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then
We don't know, Linda. You don't know a drying time, right?
no, I don't.
We don't know a drying time. We're going to just have to watch it and see. But like Patty just said, it probably won't take long.
No,
It's just going to put it on the lowest setting, you think?
Well, I was going to look and see. I don't remember what temperature that is, but I don't want to cook it by any means. Let's see. Yeah, my lowest setting is 105, but I cannot put it quite that far, so that's what I'm going to do because I don't want to risk.
So 110 or so?
No, I'll put it lower than 100.
Lower than 105.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go below 105.
Yeah, I can see that I can do that. So it'll be like about 100 maybe. And so I'm going to try it and see. And like I said, I'm going to do a test run with this.
Maybe several.
Yeah, because I want to make sure this is going to work because I wouldn't want to sell something that didn't work. And we'll do the video series, you know, showing how to do it.
Now let me ask you a question. Because others may have the question, but since this is a test run, yeah, Suburban said any higher temperature may kill the yeast.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned about.
Since this is a test run, why are you doing all the trays? Because it
might work.
Oh, okay.
Because and it should work. I mean, I've looked online. I'm following instructions. So, you know, it should work.
Well, Brenda says, so maybe you've read something about this. Brenda Collins says you may need to turn it over so the top doesn't get too dry and the bottom gets dry about the same time.
Are you talking about rotating the trays?
Yeah, because I don't know how you...
Or my actual...
I don't know how you could turn it over.
It's going to release from this.
It will? So like a pancake?
Kind of. And it'll be real brittle and all... See, here's my other jar.
So this is
jar.
You're expecting it to be like a flaky something.
It's gonna be like flaky.
Not a powder something.
Well, I could powder it in the food processor, but they say it's not
Yeah,
necessary.
she said no. Brenda said pull the starter off and flip it.
Yeah.
Brenda, is that something you know that that needs to happen, or just wondering? Pickers is gonna be dehydrating some tomatoes today for powder.
I did.
Lots of dehydrating going on today.
I dehydrated some of my cherry tomatoes for powder. Oh man! Now how stupid was that? I could have used my dehydrated cherry tomatoes for my tomatoes in there.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. See, but I was running back and forth. I wasn't at home. So.
Brenda said she just knows she has to do that when she's doing fruit roll-up type things. She has to flip it.
I haven't ever made Tomas fruit roll-ups. I've got to do it. He would love it. I think I would like it too.
Uno más?
Yep.
That's also how that's how Dawn did the milk. She flipped it.
Uh-huh.
So appreciate that. You may that's something we'll have to look at. Keep an eye on.
Yeah, because I mean, with the way I'm spreading it, it's so there's going to be some thinner places and stuff. Like
that's
the
true,
edges
yeah.
might be thinner.
Well, that's the trouble since it's not really an even spread. I just wonder how easily it'll stick together and be able to flip without breaking it up.
Well, that's okay if it would break.
Yeah, but you're talking about now you're adding time to your labor. I don't know, we'll see. This is what experiments are about. Learning what works, what doesn't, how to improve the process. So would each one of these spreads, like for example there are 2 on this tray, do you anticipate Each one being a batch.
Right.
In other words, yeah,
Right.
okay.
Right. Because I'm doing 1/4 of a cup, and we're going to do, when I rehydrate, we'll do it with 1/4 of a cup of water, and then we will add our small increments like I did on my starting the sourdough starter from scratch. The small increments of milk and flour and sugar. We won't be doing a cup of each. We'll be doing the small increments, building up to having an active starter that's ready to bake bread. But this should be a lot quicker than starting from scratch because it's going to already have some wild yeast in it.
Well, we're going to get to hear how loud the Excalibur is, right?
That's right.
I don't know if you can hear the air conditioner running in the background,
You want
but
me to turn it off?
yeah, you can turn it off just for a minute. I don't think it's too loud.
Okay. Well, it didn't come on till I hit the one of, well, yeah, I can back it up. What? Yeah. So it's on 105, and that is for herbs. So I mean, it's not bothersome to me, I mean, I can hear it running, which is good, because then I can pay attention to it, so. I don't know if they're going to be able to see that or not.
Yeah. Maybe not. I mean, I don't find that to be a burdensome sound at all. It's not much louder than the air conditioner.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's about it, y'all. If we missed any comments,
I saw something pop up just a minute ago.
if you missed any comments, then comment on this video once it's posted, which it should be moments after we stop this. And Patty, when do you have any idea when to expect that it might be ready?
Oh yeah, it'll be ready today.
Well, I mean, like within an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
I just don't know.
So,
I just really don't
yeah.
have any idea.
We need
but
to.
I wouldn't think that it would take more than a couple of hours.
Okay. Well,
see. Let's see. The time is 10:35.
The time is 10:35 Central here right now, and so we'll try to remember to go live when we get ready to check it.
Oh, well, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll try.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a good day.
See you later.